We've got another big easy meal from Chef Kevin Belton in our Winn-Dixie kitchen this morning. He's using Supreme Rice's long grain rice today. Welcome back, Chef Kevin.
Man, it is so good to see you.
So good to see you as well. Thanks for coming back and thanks for another recipe. It is already smelling good in here. What we got going on in this?
I decided because, long grain rice, all right? Supreme's long grain rice, it's starchier.
Okay.
So it produces a rice that is fluffier, it's firm, it's easy for the grains to come apart. So it's ideal to put something on top of it.
Ooh.
So that's why I decided to do a smothered pork chop.
I love a pork chop.
Now, I took, the whole pork loins, they're cheaper to buy the whole thing and just slice it yourself. And that's what I did here, okay? Now, if you want to brine it, you can. Little water, put in some salt, put in some herbs like a little thyme, rosemary. Get it warm, but then shut the water off.
Okay.
Put your pork chops in a pan or a Ziploc. Once that water cools, pour it in, and then put it in the refrigerator overnight.
And what's the benefit of brining?
It keeps them moist.
Ooh, we like it juicy.
So here's what I did. I seasoned with a little Creole seasoning, a little onion, garlic powder, that kind of good stuff. Dipped them in, put a little oil on them, dipped them in flour.
Okay.
And I browned them off in the pan to get them started, okay? So, two things are gonna happen. You can see how it still has some of that flour on there. We had some flour in the pan that also got stuck. That's gonna help make the gravy. So I just threw in some onions to saute. I threw a little butter in the pan. Let's get in some garlic.
And adding flour, does that add like a little bit of a crust to it so it's a little crispy?
No, it's not gonna be crispy, but that flour that's on the pork chop, when it cooks off, it's gonna help make the gravy.
Love it.
That's gonna help make the gravy. So look, I saved a little flour that I dipped our pork chops in.
It is smelling so good.
I'm just gonna put a little flour in.
Okay.
This is like, it's just like we'd be making a roux, okay? So we want to cook this down just to get that floury taste off of it. That's why I put that extra butter in.
Got it.
All
Love
right?
extra butter.
And we eat so much rice in South Louisiana. I don't think folks realize that in South Louisiana, there are like 500,000 acres of prime rice growing territory. And the families that grow the rice, they're such great people.
For sure.
And Supreme got started in Kaplan.
Okay.
But, Mr. Doré started it in 1936 and it's still family run, but so many families participated because it's a group mill, okay? And the other thing I found out, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
They're investing $16 million to produce a parboil plant that is going to be able to prepare ready to eat foods.
All right.
So think about it, $16 million. That shows how much the rice industry is important to South Louisiana.
Absolutely, and it's true. Growing up, I always ate rice and a vegetable with almost every meal, so it makes sense.
Hey, and plus it creates jobs. What more can you want?
Absolutely, for sure.
At least keep it here in Louisiana.
All right, keep it here, please. What we got going on?
A little chicken stock going in.
You taught me that very early when I started interviewing you. Stock just adds that flavor.
It adds flavor.
Why use water?
And as good as this rice is wonderful. I cook my rice in just a little bit of stock.
Stop it.
You know why? Because now you have flavor coming from underneath as well as on top.
Oh my goodness, I love that idea. So good.
So look, we're gonna get a little Creole seasoning in here.
We like
As this cooks, it's gonna thicken up.
Okay.
All right.
So it really is almost like a roux, and now it's turning into a gravy.
Yeah, you see how it's starting to thicken up? Yeah. That's that flour on there. Now, something a little different. We're going with a little heavy cream.
Ooh, we like a little different. Fresh take, everybody.
A little heavy cream. This will just give this a nice little different flavor. Now, when you use something like this, like you could use heavy cream, you could use buttermilk in this.
Ooh,
you want to make sure you season a little strong, just because of the fact that cream is bland.
Okay, good tip there.
So you want to over-season a little bit. So now we can take our pork chops.
Honestly, this would probably be good on chicken too.
Baby.
I know, right? And tell me, what's this?
Wait, I got to tell you something. Chef Paul Perdone. Chef Paul taught me, this is the first time I ever had that was with him. Chef made me a roux sandwich.
A roux sandwich?
He made a roux, threw in a little onions in there. Baby threw that on some bread. He says, taste that. Oh, I was done.
Okay, I hear
done.
that. And you all are taking a look at the recipe on your screen right there. These are all the ingredients you need. I have made the other white meat before, i.e. pork chop right here. What's the secret to the pork chop?
brining it, not overcooking it. You know,
that's
growing
my
up,
mistake.
growing up back in the 50s, 60s, they had to cook pork till it was all the way through because of the way it was processed.
Right.
But now pork can be cooked where it doesn't have to be like a piece of shoe leather.
Yes.
It can still be a little rosy on the inside because it's processed totally different now.
Delicious.
But here we go. Here's what we're gonna do. Look at this wonderful, beautiful rice.
Nice and fluffy.
Oh yeah, that's why I decided to do this dish, because why not? And I know you like big portions.
Okay, I was just about to say, you know me, Chef Kevin.
But here we go. Now I've had this over here just sauteing down
For
in
about
that
how
gravy.
long?
I've had it in there for at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And you see, here's what we're gonna do. Let's get some of that gravy, put it right over the top, because like I said, this rice is made to have that little gravy. We can shut that off, finish this with a little parsley.
Ooh,
Little fresh
ladies and
parsley on
gentlemen,
top.
I have breakfast this morning. That looks delicious.
Now
Chef
here's what I want you to
Kevin.
do. I want you to go ahead, take a little taste. Even if you don't taste the pork chop, taste that rice with that gravy.
You've done it again, Chef Kevin. Breakfast is served, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Look, for more great recipes, you can log on to supremerice.org, or of course, head over to their Facebook at Supreme Rice or Instagram at Supreme_Rice. Now look, that'll do it for us on Great Day this morning, but we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Malik Mingo. Make it a great day, Louisiana.